things are relatively quiet in Kenya right now, okay? And it would appear that, to somebody who's a casual observer, unfortunately we are not casual observers here, okay? To a casual observer, it would appear that things are very cool, and very soon things will go back to normal, which of course is part of a script which has been perfected by the powers that be in Kenya for many decades, yeah? This is the system of sweeping things under the carpet. Now, if you've ever been involved in sweeping a house that has a carpet, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, yeah? You just say, you postpone every day, you say, oh, I'll sweep this dust outside tomorrow, yeah? Sweep it under the carpet. Tomorrow you sweep and clean the house again, and so on. Sooner or later, there's so much dirt under your carpet that your house stinks. And this is one of the great triggers of the current very serious political crisis that we have in Kenya today, yeah? Decades and decades of sweeping things under the carpet, yeah? It's like putting a pot on fire and it just boils and boils and boils, and by the way you have covered it, sooner or later it's going to explode. We have just had a very sham election, which fortunately, it has shown us very clearly how the game that normally goes on with the presidential elections, yeah? The fiddling, the fidgeting, the changing of figures, and so on and so forth. Indeed, it is something that is so obvious that what makes me cringe inside and wonder what's going on is how somebody can ever think that they can fool the world, yeah? What am I talking about? You have empty polling stations, yeah? Right across the country you have empty polling stations. And then when the count is finished, somebody has over 7 million votes. Yani most of the country did not actively participate in that election. A vast majority in the country, well over 70% of the electorate, did not vote. Yes? And then you say you have 7 million votes. Yeah? But business as usual. Sweep that under the carpet. Yeah? Try and get things back to normal as quickly as possible. Yeah? And then continue to play your political games. Now I just want to draw your attention to some of the tactics that are normally used to sweep things under the carpet and cover up massive fraud, massive injustice against the people of Kenya, and to force the country to quickly move ahead, yeah, with other things, so that whatever injustice was done, whatever fraud was done, people will just forget. Now, of course, one of the main tactics normally used in this country is changing the narrative, yeah, the national narrative. That is, it's like you're talking to somebody, then suddenly they change the topic. Your wife has just discovered you have a mpango wa kando, yeah, and she's trying to ask you a few questions. Then suddenly you say, oh, by the way, that dress you're wearing is very nice. I don't remember buying it for you. Now, if that doesn't work, and you see still amefura kama ile mandazi ya Bama, you know, they sell some mandazis in Bama in Nairobi that, well, I don't know if they still do. But in the days when I was younger, they used to sell this mandazi that, it's just, it's air. Yani, the thing is so big, but when you bite into it, there's just air in the middle, yeah? Yani, it's puffed up, imefura, yeah? So if you see your wife is still pouting, you have, you are well endowed, you have money, yeah? You go out and you just buy a brand new sports car, yeah? So bado amefura, then you come and you tell her, oh, by the way, I have a surprise for you. You know that sports car you've always been talking about, yeah? Then you come and you show it to her, and you know humans are just humans, yeah? So attention is completely diverted from the main issue, which was you're cheating, you're being unfaithful, yeah? The whole issue is diverted, and now she forgets that, yeah? That's what we're being subjected to as a nation. Now, how is our attention being diverted? Now, there's a story which has recently been revealed in the mainstream media that is very interesting, okay? And I'm sure most of you have heard this story, yeah? But it goes something like this. Somebody had the Marburg virus, yeah? This is a virus which is just like the Ebola virus, very deadly, dreaded, yeah? It just sends fear across populations, yeah? So somebody had this Marburg virus in Uganda. So they crossed the border from Uganda and come into Kenya, to see a witch doctor, yeah, to get treatment from a witch doctor. They're treated by the witch doctor, yeah. Then they cross the border back into Uganda, where they later die. Okay. Now this is a story being given by a health expert, yeah, who is trying to explain to the country why the western part of Kenya should be on high alert because of this Ebola-like virus. Of course, health issues are paramount. Health issues are very important, yeah. But just hold on a minute. This health official, where did he get so much detail? Yeah. The government is aware that somebody crossed the border. The government is aware that that person was carrying the Ebola virus. The government is aware that that person visited a witch doctor and then left the country. Do you see there's something wrong there? Yeah. Where was it? Okay. If it's true, they knew. Yeah, which I doubt, because nobody is tested for the Ebola virus when they cross the border from Uganda into Kenya. Yeah. So how did they know? Okay. But let's assume they had some supernatural or something happened and they knew. Okay. So this person crossed over. He went to see a witch doctor. Yeah. And then he went back. Why didn't they catch him while he's in the country? Why didn't they isolate him while he's in the country? Yeah. My strong suspicion is that this is one of the stories being used, yeah, to change the narrative, yeah, to sell your mambo elections, yeah. Hey, there's a serious problem here, you know, there's Ebola coming to the country, blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell you something else, yeah. Going into the August 8th elections, our analysis on the ground showed that there were massive, significant pockets of anti-Jubilee voters within the Rift Valley, within the Kalenjin Rift Valley nation. Now, naturally, because we know the August 8th elections was a fraud, this did not come out in the figures. The truth is, even now as we speak, the support of the Kalenjin towards the current regime is very lukewarm. Okay? So lukewarm that recently we had to fake some celebrations, yeah, after the 26th October polls, we had to fake some celebrations in Eldoret, yeah, which was so fake, yeah. That is how bad it has gotten. Okay, but there's something else also developing. Okay, there seems to be now a fairly serious problem that is simmering in the border between the Luo community and the Kalenjin community around the Muhoroni area. It is claimed that the problem started on the 26th of October when members of the Kalenjin community tried to cross over to a polling station that was somewhere in Muhoroni, yeah, and obviously polling stations right across Nyanza were not accessible, yeah. There were youths all over the place screaming, chanting, and making sure nobody goes anywhere near inside a polling station. And so it is claimed that there was a clash, and the Kalenjin community took it badly. And now what seems to be developing is a full-blown clash between the two communities. Now, it could be possible that, yes, this story is very true, and that this so-called clash between the two communities has gotten its own legs. Nobody's interfering. It's just something which happened between locals. Of course, that is very possible. But the truth is, it is also possible that somebody is instigating this venom between these two communities, instigating this manenos between these two communities in the classic "your enemy is my enemy" strategy. Now, we all know that what we have right now is a minority government, yeah. In fact, a government that is strongly supported by one community in Kenya, okay, and lukewarm support from another community. But obviously, the government would be much stronger, yeah, if the situation changed so that it has strong support from at least two communities. Okay, so how do you get that strong support? You get that strong support by forcing the second community, yeah, to come to your side. Now, how do they come to your side? Because you have a common enemy. You get my drift? So communities that have been living very peacefully side by side, yeah, make sure you ignite something there. Kuna shida hapa, shida pale. So the second community is forced to completely side with you, yeah, in order to protect themselves, yeah, And also the people on the ground, they start getting the feeling, oh, such people are enemies, and therefore our only friend is the government, so we have to stick closer to the government. Yeah, that is a possibility. Now, before I go, I just want to quickly mention that all eyes now are on the Supreme Court, where it is expected that the civil society, because NASA's official position is that they're not going to court, okay, where several civil society groups are preparing a petition to petition against the 26th October sham of an election. Okay. Now this is going to be very interesting, because the laws, the controversial election laws, which were changed in order to limit the powers of the Supreme Court in annulling a presidential election, those laws were gazetted, so they are now law. Of course, they are very unconstitutional, okay? But that is a story for another day, Those elections were passed and they're now law, So now this is what's happening, as petitions will be brought before the Supreme Court concerning that particular election. Of course, this comes at a time when we do not yet know which group is this of highly trained marksmen who sprayed gunfire on Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu's official vehicle, injuring the driver very, very seriously. Actually, I've said in this channel that that driver passed on. I have since learned from very credible sources that that information is not correct, that actually the driver to this Deputy Justice Mwilu is still in very critical condition, but still alive. We thank God for that. Okay. But nobody has explained why this car was being sprayed with bullets. It would seem that the whole idea was to scare Supreme Court judges, send a message to them. So the question some Kenyans are asking is, will there be a quorum of the Supreme Court to listen to the presidential petition? I will tell you something, my gut feeling. I don't think we should expect much from the Supreme Court this time around. Okay, because obviously the people who organized the 26th October election have obviously made their contingency plans, against it being annulled again. Okay, so we can expect some real drama, from the Supreme Court, right? That's for sure. Some real drama. The truth is that the 26th October elections, in terms of irregularities and illegalities, was much worse than the 8th August election. That is the truth, and that is so obvious. Okay? But let's wait and see what happens, because this is Kenya, where anything is possible. Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.